Hey my loves, welcome or welcome back to another video. I'm so excited to see you here again. Today I'm going to be answering all your questions that I asked you to ask me on Instagram and TikTok, and we're gonna do a little get to know me tag. Let's know the person behind the camera, shall we? I'm so excited that we also hit 3,000 subscribers. Thank you so much if you subscribed and you show up here every single Sunday. So to start, just some basic info about me. My name is Nandi, N-A-N-D-I. I was named after Shaka Zulu. If you know anything about South African culture, he was a Southern king and his mom was Nandi. So my mom gave me that name. What's special about it is that she had already picked my name out, and I know it's not that crazy, but I find that really cute and I love my name. I love the woman that Nandi was. She was so resilient and I try to embody that every single day. I am 24, I'm from Zimbabwe. Growing up in Zimbabwe, therapy was never something to consider. We were just taught to move on, and honestly, I never got the chance to emotionally mature. So when I got into college and transitioned into my adult life, it presented its own challenges. But I've come to appreciate therapy and it has honestly changed my life. I just want to take this time to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Not only does it help me navigate my new life and independence, it has honestly given me a new sense of self, and I just feel more mentally sound. If you're just like me, you're not alone. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, I really wanted to partner with BetterHelp to stop the stigma around mental health support and encourage more people to get support from a licensed therapist. One thing I love about therapy is finding someone who is licensed and equipped to help me with my problems and thoughts without any judgment. And I also love that I walk away with active tools that are gonna help me with whatever situation that I have. If you think this is going to be beneficial to you, please go and click the link in my description box or go to betterhelp.com/Nandi to get 10% off your first month and get matched with the right therapist in as little as a couple of days, and you can get 10% off your first month with my link. So thank you so much again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. I'm an electrical engineer, but I work in construction. So I'm a project engineer, and a lot of the things that I do day to day is facilitate projects, like make sure that what we're actually building is going right and we're doing it on time and on budget. So it's kind of like project management in a sense, but a lot of the times I'm doing inspections, I'm checking in on the crews, I'm doing quality control, making sure everything that we're doing is up to the owner's standards, and you'll get to know a little bit more about what I do from my vlogs. It's really exciting. I love what I do. I feel like being a woman in construction is different, but I've definitely come to terms with the industry, how it works, and I've honestly gathered so much knowledge just from being in this industry for about 2.5 years. My YouTube is basically going to be catered to the young women and men who want to know more about engineering, want to know more about what that life looks like from my lens, and honestly, I get to share the hardships and also the good parts about being an engineer. I didn't see a lot of representation, or sometimes it's like when people create this type of content, they don't go in depth. They don't really tell you the tea, like everything that goes into being a woman engineer, a Black woman engineer. Like, it's not a lot of people that share their experiences like that. And I also just wanted to be a resource, like tell you everything that I've learned so far, all the mistakes that I made in college, things that you can avoid. And I also do lifestyle, faith, motivation, makeup, things that you'd love as a girly girl. I'm very girly. I love beauty, I love fashion, I love perfumes. Like, girl, if you like all those things, this is the best place for you to be. In school, I was always in science classes all the way from primary school up until high school. I went to a girls' high school in Zimbabwe, and then I came to study here in America when I was about 17. So ever since then, I've just studied electrical engineering. What inspired me to study electrical engineering actually was my grandmother. I was kind of debating over mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, and I just ended up going with electrical engineering because it had a bigger why. A lot of the times in Zimbabwe, we have what is called load shedding. If you've never experienced that, you are so blessed. But at a certain time of the day, the lights will go out at any time of the day. So what I wanted to do was to create solutions to people in my community, like be educated about solar power, hydropower, anything that's related to electricity. I really wanted to give back to my community. So that's the reason why I did electrical engineering. How I actually ended up in construction is that in my senior year of college, I could not find a job for the life of me. So during my freshman year, all the way up to my senior year, I would go to the career fairs and I did not have any luck. So my last year of college, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to this last one. I just want to connect with somebody, share my story, just have someone to listen to me and actually just give me an opportunity. I had let go of the pressure of leaving there with a job interview or anything like that. I just wanted a connection. And surprise, surprise, the company that I work for now actually recruited me. It was honestly like a conversation, like getting to know these people. They telling me about construction, like they told me about the culture. It sounded so good to be true. And I was like, I just want to be honest. I don't know anything about construction, but I'm willing to learn. And I was in my information security class. I remember I got a phone call and they were like, do you want to be flew out to Houston for a job interview? I'm like, yes, of course. I will be there. So that's how I ended up getting the job I'm at now. But it honestly was such a smooth process. I had 2 rounds of interviews and they were like, are you comfortable working these hours? And then also the issue of like working in remote areas, because a lot of these solar plants and these battery energy storage systems that we do are so remote. Oh my gosh, they're so far away from everything. So I didn't really know what all of that meant. And now that I do, that's another video that we'll have to talk about. But it was really interesting. It was so cool, like getting to see all the buildings, like the drawings essentially come to life. That is probably one of the most coolest things about my job. So just going into some of the things I wished I knew before my career is probably doing more research. One, about electrical engineering. What actually does that mean? What does it entail? Because when I came from Zimbabwe, I just had a plan. I knew I wanted to be an engineer, and that's all that I knew. Another thing I wish I knew is that the lack of women representation, sometimes it does get lonely in these industries, not having a lot of women around you, feminine energy. I'm always surrounded by men, and that can take a toll on you, honestly. But that's essentially all about me. I think some random facts out there. I am 24. I live with my boyfriend. We've been dating for about 2 years now. So sweet. This is my first healthy relationship, you guys. So I cannot tell you anything. Like, I'm still getting used to this. It's so different. But yeah, he's so sweet. I love him, and that's my baby. I play tennis from time to time. I love shopping. I love matcha. Tell me, are you a coffee or a matcha girl? I started off as a coffee person, but now matcha is me. Like, it runs through my veins. I love a good matcha, and I make the best matcha at home. One thing I cannot live without is God, of course, but I cannot live without getting my nails done. I cannot live with a chipped nail, or my toes are chipped right now, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. One thing my mom taught me growing up was, if anything looks terrible on you, let it not be your hands. And especially now that I work and I talk a lot with my hands, I make sure that they are well groomed, well taken care of. Okay, let's answer some of the questions that you guys had for me. So I'm gonna have my tablet here just to make it a little bit more professional. So the first question I have is how to find a job as an international student in America. I think out of the many questions I get on TikTok and Instagram, is how to find a job in America or how to navigate as an international student in America, like something along those lines. And all I have to say, considering I was someone without any internships, any prior experience, honestly, I may not be the best person to tell you, but if you are a Christian, I'm a Christian, that's another thing about me, is divine timing. I didn't have any internships and I had come to a point where I was losing faith, and honestly, the moment that I just decided to give it up to God, knowing that I did not have any experience at all, and I got a high paying job in the industry that I am, it's all because of God. Like, I did not have anything, you guys. I think the most I had was some research experience throughout school, things that I've done on campus. So all of that is honestly what I put on my resume. If you're having a hard time finding internships, one thing I recommend is to definitely do some research work on campus. Ask your dean, ask your professors. Those people are so connected. They know all the companies that are coming to school, who are looking for students and everything like that. So use those resources, and you never know, start putting yourself out there. Another thing for me was letting go of the pressure of finding work and just believing that things are gonna work out for me despite not having anything concrete. Like, I went to that career fair and I was like, I'm gonna put the pressure off my shoulders and give it to God, and look at what God did. So it honestly takes time. What's for you is for you. What is my best beauty secret? I think my best beauty secret is, honestly, it sounds cliche, but I would say happiness. I feel like if you're happy, it honestly just radiates throughout like your entire face. Like, even with no makeup on, you could still see you radiating, glowing. I feel like that's the best one. Whenever I'm stressed, I can definitely feel my self-confidence go low and low. So happiness is probably the best thing. Also, just good skincare. I think skincare is the basis of everything. So get your skincare routine down, and I promise you that will make you look so good. Another question I got is, how did I reach self-confidence? I actually spoke about this in my last video. So one thing I would say about self-confidence, to me, it's all action-based. The moment you start proving to yourself that you can keep your own promises that you make to yourself, that grows your self-confidence. So some of the things that I do to just boost my self-confidence is daring myself to doing stuff that I never thought I would be able to do, like starting my YouTube channel. I've always wanted to do this, but I was so scared. I've been seeing other girls be on YouTube for the longest time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that one day. I want to do that one day. And I finally was like, just do it. Like, you never know. And then I did it, and I feel like my confidence has grown in that area. Showing up on camera, talking to you guys every single Sunday has honestly grown my self-confidence. I think going to the gym is another thing, taking care of your body, proving to yourself that you actually care about yourself, you care about your well-being, you put yourself first. That grows your self-confidence. And of course, we can go into the external things like makeup, getting your nails done, your lashes and everything. I think that also grows your self-confidence, but I think a lot of times it starts from within, keeping the littlest promises to yourself. If you say you're gonna make your bed, do that. If you say you're gonna start praying more in the morning, do that. Start voting for the person that you want to become, and eventually it adds up, and at the end you're like, oh, I did all those things, and that's how your self-confidence grows. The next question is, what do I think about post-grad? It's different. Adulthood is very ghetto, but I love it. I think it's definitely different from college. In college, I feel as though I had not reached my potential of what I could be, what my life would look like. And I'm so glad that I sacrificed a lot in college to have the life I have now. Because honestly, I sacrificed fun, I sacrificed so many things to get my degree, because I knew after I got my degree, I could actually fund the things that I love. So now, like, funding my side quests, like funding my side passions like YouTube, TikTok, being creative. I'm starting sewing. I bought a sewing machine so that I could learn how to make my clothes. Like, funding different parts of my life has been probably the best part, and also just having the freedom to do whatever I want to do at whatever time, getting to travel more. I love it. Someone said, what's your biggest gym pet peeve? Oh my gosh, I hate people who hog machines and they pretend to not see other people wanting to use that certain equipment. It's like, if you are in the gym, you need to have gym etiquette. Like, that's the least you could do. Try to be a little bit more conscious about the people around you and not be so selfish. I hate when people are like that in the gym. Another question I have is a worst date story. I wouldn't say I've had a terrible dating history, but definitely when my date was so late, he was probably like an hour behind. I was the first one to get to the restaurant and I got a drink. I finished that drink and he was still not there. You know, when you like someone, you're gonna just do dumb stuff. So I ended up staying at the date and it was cool. I think what I should have done at that moment was just leave and not have that man waste my time, because that was crazy. What's your most controversial opinion on dating? I think it's a lot of information out there going online and people having their think pieces. I think if you want to be in a healthy relationship, tune out the noise and cater your relationship to what you actually want and your standards. Because a lot of times on the internet, you hear, oh, 50-50, this and that, but a lot of people do not understand that everything and every situation is not going to be the same. So follow your own standard and do not rely on other people's opinion. Make an opinion for yourself and be the healthiest you want to be. What's a moment that changed my entire mindset? I think the moment that happened for me was probably when I was still in college and I was so down bad. Oh my goodness, I was failing my classes, I was losing my hair, I was in the trenches, in the pit. Like, I remember being so low, so depressed, so anxious every day, and I just had to take a step back and remind myself of my why. I had to really just go down deep in myself and tell myself, like, hey, there's no plan B. It's either you do this thing or you don't do it at all. And one thing about me, I love a good challenge. So that has always been my motto my entire life. There is no plan B. We stick to the initial plan and that's it. And honestly, that has helped me from relying on like second options. Like, I always trust my gut. And if that's what I want to do, and if plan A is what I planned, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I never falter. Ooh, what's one thing I'll never let slide in a friendship again? Oh my goodness, I think boundaries. Like, friends who do not understand boundary because we're friends or because they think they have certain access to you. That is something I'm never gonna do again. Just like romantic relationships, I think every single relationship in your life has to have boundaries. If you do not like something and you do not like people doing that certain thing to you, and you communicate that with them and they keep doing the same thing, I'm so sorry, but you're gonna go down a notch. So I had to just remind myself, like, if I would not allow this to happen to me in a romantic relationship, why am I letting it slide with friendships? And I had to put a stop to that, respectfully. Oh my gosh, I love this one. So it says, what's your current aesthetic and does it match your life? I think my current aesthetic right now is definitely pinked out, girly girl, classy woman. I feel like I'm in my HER era, everything about me, I want it to be so soft. I want to be the most feminine I can be, the most girly girl I can be. Honestly, be the woman I've always wanted to be as a little girl, and I think she would be losing her mind right now considering everything that I've done in my life. It's just like, and yes, even though I have a hard male dominated industry career, I do my best to preserve that soft side of me. If I could only use one makeup product for a month, what would it be? I would honestly say concealer, my Hourglass concealer. I cannot go a day without it. It's so good, it's so flawless. I think that has been the most consistent concealer I've ever had in my arsenal. I use it every single day. You can make it full coverage, you can make it no makeup, like it just works. Oh my gosh, last question. What's my go-to toxic trait when I am annoyed? Oh my gosh, I'm the type of person who, whenever I'm annoyed, I get snappy, and sometimes I just have to remind myself, like, calm down, girl, because once I'm over there, there's no turning back. Like, especially when I'm annoyed and hungry, get out of my face right now. Like, you could breathe a certain type of way and I will be so overstimulated, I cannot do it. So I'm working on it. I'm working on patience as well. But yeah, guys, that is a little bit about me. I'm so glad that you joined me and you are here. Thank you so much for 3,000 people is actually insane. I think another thing is that on the internet we keep seeing these numbers and like you do not imagine the magnitude of how many people you are talking to. 3,000 people is a lot of people, a lot of eyes, a lot of faces, but I'm so thankful for you to be here every single Sunday and joining me. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, and thank you so much BetterHelp for sponsoring this community. I love you so much and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye.